What is going on, guys? The Difference is All Gaming with my review of Sword Art Online Season 2, Episode 13. And this episode, I think it's pretty sure that it's safe to say that this right here is definitely the best episode that we have so far. We had, some pretty good action. We had a ton of good story progression. It also had some pretty good character development as well. And this episode, to me, I'm already going to share my rating. I'm already going to share my rating for it with you guys, and I'm actually going to give it a 9 out of 10. Now, I know that I normally, do these at the end of the review, but I felt like this episode was just so good, I kind of want to do it at the start. But the episode itself, it of course picks up from last week. And we see now that even though Sinon, even though she cannot do much, she is still watching him. And we see now that that these gunners here, that they have some kind of an enhanced vision skill. Now obviously, even though she can, increase she can increase the distance of what she can see, it is still almost impossible for her to shoot because her scope is broken. Because we saw now that in that moment she was wishing she could do something, because right now Kirito, he was definitely getting pretty banged up, like Death Gun here, or his real name that we found out it was like Red Eye Zaza. This guy right here is definitely no joke. Now obviously, for the most part, it definitely was not good for Kirito. And we even see now that out in the real world, where we have Asuna and the doctor by his body, we see that Kirito, his heart rate is decreasing so much, and of course he's sweating as well. It is possible that he can suffer from dehydration. But obviously, if that would have happened, then the game would automatically log him out. So his life was in no real danger. And we even see now that the nurse, she knew that Kirito would be fine, and so because of that, she was willing to just go on for a bit longer before something dangerous could happen. But then we had this rather nice moment between Asuna, Yu, and Kirito, because we see now that Asuna, she was kind of getting impressed. But we have Yu here who had told her, to take hold of his hand, because Kirito would definitely, feel her warmth. And we see now that that Yu, because she could not touch Kirito in the real world, she had told Asuna, to do for her as well. But we see that Asuna, she was not, she was not going to be the only one doing that, because we saw that she had put Yu under Kirito's hand, and of course, her hand wasn't on top of his. And so that right there was nice. It is nice to see that even though Asuna's not in the game, their relationship is still it's so much so strong in the real world. But we see now that Sinon here, while Kirito was kind of getting his butt kicked, because I will admit that was definitely happening, but it seemed like he was waiting for that one moment where he could turn this around. And we also saw that while he was fighting Death Gun, we see now that Death Gun kind of gave his own identity away, because we see that Death Gun, obviously he has red eyes, and we learn now that Kirito, he saw all the members of a Laughing Coffin, but he saw all the members of Laughing Coffin before that raid had went down that night. And we seen all these members that they had, and so even though we saw two of them, the third one here, it definitely reminded Kirito about who it was. And so when Kirito said his name, that right there threw him off, because Death Gun here, he was actually about to defeat Kirito, but by Kirito by Kirito revealing his identity, that right there threw him off the game a lot. And so because of that, we have Sinon here, who also have Kirito make this opening, because we saw that even though she cannot shoot him, she can still make that line. And that right there made Death Gun act rather quickly, because we saw now that he was backing up while Kirito was going while Kirito was going the offensive. But now we see Death Gun, he was actually going to take the coward way out, as we saw now that he could use that cloak of his to make himself invisible. But luckily, Kirito, this guy has some pretty fast reactions, and not only did he bring out his gun, but he was also able, to shoot Death Gun, and that right there was awesome. Now, I will admit that, like, Kirito was pretty close to him, but then again, Kirito is not used to, like, using a gun like that, so it is possible that, like, he could mess all together. But when he shot Death Gun, that right there, had he activated that, like, cook abilities, and that right there had revealed him. And so now we have Kirito pretty much owning him as he cuts Death Gun in half, and that right there was awesome. Now, I will admit, it was a bit too much, but, at the end, Kirito did win the battle. But now we see now that, like, Death Gun, he was giving him a warning saying that it was not over yet. But now we see that, like, after that, Kirito, he is still a mess. He had all the cuts over his body, and we have Sinon, like, walking toward him. Now, even though, they did a good job and they worked together pretty well, B.O.B. was, like, still going on, so they need to find a way to end it. And so we learn now that the last one, that right there was actually going to end with, like, 2 winners. But I forgot who it was that won, but apparently he pulled out this, like, pressure grenade on, like, the other player, and that right there gave him one solo. But we see now that, like, when Kirito is, like, wondering one rule is a pressure grenade, Sinon actually, like, brings out one. But this time, rather than, being one winner, because obviously, like in the last one, whoever pulled out that, like, pressure grenade, they obviously got away. Sinon here was, like, hugging Kirito, and that grenade took them both out. But luckily, both of them were the winners, and we see now that, like, everybody in GGO, they were actually, applauding for them. And so, like, I'm trying to remember, if it happened, but no, like, it definitely happened before the explosion. But we have Sinon. She actually gave her her real name and her real address to Kirito, because obviously, with, like, Death Gun defeated, then the other one, should left her home, and so now that, like, Kirito knows where it is, we actually learned that, like, Kirito, like, actually is, like, pretty familiar with the area. And we see now that, like, he was willing, to go to her home, to check up on her. But Sinon did not want that. But Kirito will contact his employer, and that guy with the government, he will call the police, and they will go to her home. And so now we go back to Sinon's room. When she, like, first wake up, obviously, she's a bit jumpy because we saw her, checking her home thoroughly. And so eventually, like, somebody is, like, at her door knocking, and at first she's scared because she don't know who it is. But then, it's her very creepy friend. Like, this guy I always had my eye on, since he was introduced into the anime or to the series, because obviously this guy here, he's definitely, a bit weird and way too forceful. And in this episode, proved that a lot. And so eventually, when Sinon does let him in, and they were first, having a pretty good time talking, this guy, had to ruin everything by, like, pulling out that, like, full creep mode. Because obviously he did bring up about those two dating, because he did confess to her, and Sinon did tell him, to wait. But this guy, he was just being so forceful and, like, taking hold of her and having this, like, crazy look on his face. It was obvious that this guy right here, he was not stable. And then we have Sinon who was trying to reject him, but when the thought of her, like, when the thought of her, actually betraying him, that right there, like, made up snap. And we see now that, like, he pulls out this, like, kind of like strange looking syringe, and apparently if he will inject it with her, her muscles will start working, and even her lungs, and I believe her, like, heart as well. And so now we see that this guy, he is the one, or one of the people that have been going around with Death Gun, like killing others. And so apparently it's because of his vast medical studies, because we did get that flashback, thanks to Sinon recalling his words about how his father would, like, making him study medicine. And so apparently this guy right here, like, his original avatar, it was Sturban, at first, but then, his brother, because that's right, I forgot his name, Shinkawa. I'm probably saying that wrong, but him and Death Gun, like the Death Gun, like, Kirito had been fighting, those two are actually brothers, but it was Shinkawa. I definitely don't say the name wrong, but you guys obviously know who I'm talking about. He was in charge, and apparently this guy right here, he took GGO very seriously. Like, not only did he not care about, you know, like studying or the real world, but he was just so obsessed with that game, and more importantly, Sinon as well. And so we see now that the reason why he had killed that guy at the beginning of the series, Zazie or XZ, something like that, but you don't know what I'm talking about. Apparently this guy had a problem with him going around saying that those agility types, those were the best, and I don't know why the guy had a problem with it, because I would love to know what his original character model was, because obviously if this guy hates the speedy types, he must have been one of those slow heavy guys or something, because it makes no sense for him to have such a grudge against those speedy players. But now we see that, like, this guy right here, he was just so obsessed with, like, Sinon after hearing her story, that the gun that, like, Devil Gun was using, he actually modeled that after Sinon's story, and that right there, you know, it was just so freaking creepy, and that right there, it's no wonder why Sinon, it's no wonder why she was triggered back then when she saw that gun. And so throughout the episode, this guy here, his face just looks so freaking weird and crazy. Like, there was like one point where like even saliva was like coming out of his mouth. This guy here was just like so freaking arranged. And so we see now that, like, at one point it did seem like, you know, it might go to that extra, you know, creepy level where he might rape Sinon, because we did see his hand go like under her shirt. And so even though Sinon, you know, was like projecting him all this time saying no and stuff like that, she was, you know, like slowly blacking out, because obviously, you know, she was like kind of giving up. And so we see that, like, just when it seemed like all hope was lost, we have Sinon, you know, like the game character, she came through to Shino, and so now we see that now Shino here, she has finally found the courage in herself, and she actually fought the guy off. Now that right there was awesome, and so now we see that when she runs to her door to escape, this guy over here is like hot on her tail, and now he's like dragging her back, and I was just so, you know, like so worried about what this guy would do to her if he had the chance, because we saw that, like, Sinon couldn't escape because her door was locked and she couldn't open it. And now when it seems like this guy would actually do something crazy, because obviously he would not kill her because he doesn't want to protect her, but we have no idea, you know, like what he had in mind though. We have Kirito coming in there, and he actually kneed him in the face, and that right there was awesome. And so now we have Kirito fighting this guy, and of course he tells Sinon to run for it. But we see now that when, like, Sinon, you know, like, recognize who it is, you know, Kirito from the game, that right there, where the episode ends. But the episode itself, like I said, it was definitely very good. To me, this right here was definitely the best episode we got so far. I'm actually going to give it, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. But of course, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. And as always, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, because it really helps me out. And you guys take it easy, and I will see you all next time.